The theme for this summit this year is New World. We wanted this year's summit to really be forward-looking. We wanted to bring inspiration, hope, excitement about the future. We all know that the world that was last February is a completely different world than what we're going to be living in. We wanted to challenge each of you to start thinking, to start preparing, to start building this new world.
Is addressing and naming systemic racism mandatory to include more diversity?
It's really important to speak up. Silence is definitely complacency, and it's an acceptance of the status quo. So, as a leader, I think it's your responsibility to speak up and to identify problems that you see. Whether it's in your organization, and to lead by example. There's bias that exists in the world. There's a bias that exists in every organization. It's something that we're always going to have to, confront. We do come from different backgrounds. We come from different perspectives, and I think that acknowledging, recognizing it, and then that understanding, that recognition, that's like the first step towards being able to make progress.
What is your top tip for anyone in the audience who's looking to start or grow their own business?
You have to be ready to be ready to iterate and fail fast and fail often, and double down on the things that are really working and celebrate the wins. 10 bad things will happen and 82 good things will happen, and you got to build on those things. Didn't think of myself as a leader, but certainly, now we're more than 2,000 people. It's definitely evolves year upon year of what is expected from me as a leader. Mm-hmm. You're stepping into something that actually you don't know anything about how to do necessarily, and that's really often what the company needs from you most. And so for those people that are, starting something, don't be concerned about being uncomfortable, because it's probably where you need to be.
Of course, now we see a major social awakening where many traditionally marginalized groups are speaking up, and there's new pressure put on businesses and other organizations to create a safer, more inclusive, more equitable space. And this is a fundamental change. It's a significant change that's taking place in the market, and it's going to continue to reshape the way that we deal with business long after the pandemic fades into the background.
Really, if I can encourage the business community listening to step up, and as Jamie said, I'm sure a lot of these principles are embedded in your organizations already. Enhance that if you can, step up and encourage others to do the same. Call out those that aren't, because there's certainly an appetite for you to do so, and really participate publicly in these conversations.
Are you seeing trends, I'll say, to build back better?
Well, I think this is where we're starting to see a bit more shareholder activism. Now, this doesn't necessarily help the smaller businesses, but we do know that larger businesses do set the tone. So the shareholders have a lot more of an active approach in terms of best practices that they expect out of larger businesses, which smaller businesses can cue off of in terms of where the sentiment is shifting. And so from that perspective, exactly as you said, ESG, which is shocking in my opinion, that we went through this pandemic and everybody thought, oh no, we're gonna all have our entire focus on the healthcare sector and not on these other really important issues that are happening on inequality and environmental shifts. And yet everything bubbled up simultaneously, which was good to see. So I actually think that if you look to what's happening on larger businesses, whether you are in that space or not, that's probably what's coming down the pipeline for you. And that's a positive thing in my opinion.